No, you just caught me after some losses. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've been here.
Been where?
Been here.
When you guys do go through a tough loss, how do you decompress after the game?
Come back, watch the film. It's never as good as it seems, never as bad as it seems. Just fix our mistakes and continue to get better. It's a long season. They added an extra game, so it's an even longer season. So more chances just to get better and fix our mistakes.
Arizona is one of the best teams in the league at takeaways. What is it that has made them so effective?
First off, their pass rush. They got some monsters up front. Their DBs, they go after the ball if you have the ball in your hands. And they're just, a hungry team on defense. And, to slow that down, we got to attack them and bring the fight to them.
Pete said he talked to you after the game and everything. What was his message to you?
No, me and Pete have talked like 3 times. I think I've had an outburst 3 times this year. So we've talked 3 times, and the conversation's always gotten better. I'm a passionate player. Never going to back down from anything. He understands that, but at the same time, I'm starting to become a leader on this team. And I gotta grow up and continue to get better. I know I'm still a work in progress. I don't like to use my age as an excuse, but I sometimes forget that I'm just 23 years old. So continue just to grow each day, and the mistakes are gonna get fixed.
What advice have you gotten from teammates since what happened on Sunday? Now that this has happened a few times,
right,
as far as how you can try to de-escalate a situation like that?
Well, I talked to Bobby after the game, and he was like, "You're not the first person to do this on multiple occasions." So, like I just said, man, I got to just grow up and assume my role as a leader on this team, and just look at myself, in that aspect.
Whatever happened with the defensive back, was that something that had been kind of brewing throughout I know you've talked in the past about how defenders have tried to kind of goad you into losing your cool. Was that something that was building throughout the game?
I wouldn't say building, but I'm not going to back down from anything. I felt I was being challenged, and growing up is part of realizing that challenge and making the best decision for the team and not for myself. So. Yes, it was brewing throughout the whole game. Some other factors led into that, so yeah.
You said you repeated this throughout your early in your career here too. You said you're not going to back down from anyone. We've seen some of your. Sometimes that brings the best out of you too. Versus New England last year comes to mind.
Right.
Is there kind of that fine line where you kind of relish that fight up to a point, but maybe sometimes you cross it?
I wouldn't say a fine line, but I was doing the same thing last year with Stephon Gilmore, Jalen Ramsey. I've been doing it. I'm just under a tighter microscope right now. So everybody's watching me to see what I do and how I react. So taking that into account every time, I go into a game or preparing for a week that, I'm being looked at. So just another challenge that, I got to overcome.
I think one of the highlights that caused people to look at you under a microscope was the one against Buda Baker last year, right?
Right.
Was there a downside to making that play?
No. I mean, this is what I wanted. This is what I asked for. I want to be the best. I want to be, known in this league as a playmaker, a competitor, not a monster or a beast, but a guy who plays the game the right way. And, I pride myself on that. And like I said, man, it's just another opportunity just to overcome that challenge and not grow just physically, but, mentally in this game of football.
You've been on the injury report a lot with the foot and not practice. Has that impacted anything, game day at all for you?
No, sir. I'm just getting the mental reps. I'm still doing walkthrough, just, not practicing 1 day a week.
How do you assess, I guess, your overall year? Your numbers are pretty similar to what they were last year, but
right.
How do you look at it?
It's not numbers-wise this year for me. It's really, bringing younger guys along and, like I said, man, just being a leader on the team. And because I've been here, 3 years now, I know what it feels like to win, and, I'm starting to see what it feels like to lose. So, just helping the younger guys see that, we still got to believe and we still got to fight because we still got 8 games. We still can finish 11-6 and, possibly win the division. So just keep fighting, just keep believing because, it's always brighter on the other side.
What specifically gives you that hope that you guys could run the table and go 11-6?
First off, our quarterback, our defense is playing well, special teams playing well. So we just got to, fix our problems on offense and, hopefully we can put together, a full game.
What do you view those problems as being, and how do you get them right?
Not executing the plays that's being called. even if Shane doesn't call the right play. There's still answers. Russ is still a mobile quarterback who can extend plays, and we just gotta get open, and when our numbers call, just make the play.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Like,